Yes. Okay, we're going. Finally.
Love it.
Ignore the late start. Don't worry about that. Okay, yeah. So, hello to
Hi.
everybody. This is our. How many have we done now? 10?
10.
Is this a 10?
Yeah, I think.
I think it's because I'm 5.
11?
Yeah.
10,
No.
right?
Wait.
Because I'm number 5.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, this is 10.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Look at us go.
Anyway, this month
Almost a year
is.
in.
Yeah. This is the first month that we're not reading a Cassandra Clare book. Can we get a round of applause, everybody? Yeah. So this month was my pick for a book, and I picked Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I can see Tati reaching for her copy. Yep. Because I'm indoctrinating everybody with my interests and hobbies and just recruiting people into my gang. So
Slowly but surely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if we do the rounds of intros and ratings, and then I'll talk about why I picked it, and then we can get into the book.
Sure.
Okay,
Sounds good.
So, go.
Hi, I'm Tati, and this was a reread for me, and I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars again.
Good. Well, I'm Mica. I had a lot of trouble picking a rating, but I ended up with a tentative 3, actually. 3 stars. I have
Okay.
a lot of thoughts to share.
Okay. Oh god. Okay.
Skylar will try to indoctrinate her into changing it.
And hi everyone, I'm Sami, and I not settled. I am giving it a firm 4 stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Katie. Everyone's come to join us.
Hello.
We have people in the chat, everybody. Yeah, so there was a couple of reasons why I decided to pick this as my book. And I think the main reason is, as far as I know, like how much in terms of like adult fantasy and kind of high fantasy have you all read before this book?
Does SJM count?
I mean, like, yeah, okay, I think, yeah.
I mean, before, I'm like, are we counting my recent like venture into Mistborn?
No,
Okay, we're not, because so I'm going off of the mindset of my first reading in December. So before this, none whatsoever.
Yeah, not much. Yeah, you already know that the only adult fantasy that I read was The Poppy War. I've read a lot of fantasy back when I was a child. It was my favorite like genre, and I read a lot of them now. But for some reason, I turned more to urban fantasy, which I don't like as much as high fantasy. But for some reason, it's I don't know. I don't understand it either.
I think over the last couple of months, that's been more of what I've been venturing into. And I kind of also, Katie is watching this, and Katie is a large part of the reason why this is the case. So thank you, Katie. And I think
she's indoctrinating you. You're indoctrinating me, and I don't know who I'm gonna pass this on to.
It's like a pyramid scheme of Cosmere books. Like it's like a whole thing.
Literally.
But, yeah, so I was like, I really wanted to introduce some of you to that and, you know, see how you find it. And I think I went with Warbreaker, and I said this at the end of last month's show, that I didn't really want to start everyone on a series in case you didn't like it, but also this one is kind of the lightest book in the kind of Cosmere, like, the other ones get kind of heavy and kind of dark and kind of sad. This one is more kind of breezy and contained, I think. Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. This is a pyramid scheme.
It really is. But yeah, so I think now I don't know where we want to start talking about this. We kind of talked about this before. We were like, where do we start? So where do we start plot characters? Anybody have
Magic
anything?
system.
Okay.
Oh wait, Mica always has
Go on.
something. Mica always knows where she wants to start.
No, I don't know. I can start with whichever you want because I have a lot of thoughts and things to say about both. So whatever you want, I'll go.
I think maybe we should start on the plot because I think we're gonna have more to say about the characters.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
No, it's a lot of character-driven stuff in this book. Like it's a very sitting. Oh, okay. Katie asks, favorite character. Everybody. Okay. So for me, this is a difficult one because my mind changes all the time, as we've established before on many occasions. Because, okay, so it's kind of a toss-up. It depends on what I'm looking for. Because Nightblood is like, I love Nightblood in like just general Cosmia world in terms of character.
Sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a fun concept of a character, you know? And then also in terms of like, and then I also love, I don't know how to say his name. Is it Susebron? Susebron?
Susebron.
I'm just gonna call him Seb. I love him. He makes me soft. But in terms of actual character, I think maybe Lightsong. In terms of actual character overall, I think.
Yeah. Big mood. Mine is a toss-up between Susebron, Lightsong, and Siri. One of those three. For some reason, I really, really enjoy Siri's plotline and her like character growth in this.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, it's one of those three. Don't ask me to pick because I won't.
I just can't pick.
I just can't. So it's just one of those three.
Okay, so here I come with my unpopular take, I guess. Both Seb, whatever, and Siri were my least liked characters, actually. And I really did not like their plotline. But we'll get into that later, I guess. My thing is, I didn't connect with any of the characters that much. I had moments where I liked them, and moments where I hated them, obviously. But I didn't have a favorite one. I really like Nightblood, but I don't think like kind of as a character is kind of cheating, I guess, because you know.
He is a character. He is sentient, even if he is just a sword.
Yeah.
So he can definitely be your favorite. It's fine.
It is my favorite character. I really like Larimar. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Larimar.
I really like him too, and I ended up liking. Not liking her, but I guess Vivenna and her plot were the ones that I liked the most.
Mm-hmm.
I can say I like her as a character though, so I don't know.
She has good character growth, so you could say it. It's fine.
Probably, for me, has my favorite development, I think, from start to finish.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like, my opinion on her changed drastically on my
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, Sami, what's yours?
I'd say, okay, so the character that pissed me off the least was and Scoot. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. But I'd say like the character that I felt like was one of the better like had a good arc, and I enjoyed like hearing their story with Siri. So it's kind of the same thing everybody else said, but
no, it's
definitely the best in just that everybody else did some questionable things.
Sam is just like the most pure character.
Yes.
Just heart eyes every time I see him. I'm like, oh, I just want to give him a hug and just tell him it's all gonna be okay.
Especially because like a lot of the things that goes on in his life is not his fault. Literally, it's just everybody else that's just like manipulating him and like putting him where they want him. So like he's pure.
Yeah. I think, like Mica said, she didn't like that romantic relationship. So, like, going off of that, I think with this book, I'm pretty sure this was written after Brandon Sanderson had got married. And, like, he was in, like, his honeymoon phase, and she was writing just something that was fluffy and nice and just feel good, you know? Like, was it the most fleshed out romance ever? No, but it's not a romance book, so like I didn't come here for that. But it just gave me good vibes, you know. It just made me happy.
Is there romance in the other books?
Yes,
they are. They're not. Romance is never.
They're not romance heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are romance.
There are relationships and people to ship and root for.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to
do you want my thing with what I didn't like the romance? Because it's a couple of things.
Go ahead.
The first one is that I tend to not like the pure-hearted characters. I find them boring.
I knew this would happen.
So boring. So that's why I did not like it.
Like, I kind of knew this going. Go on, carry on.
The other thing is that for such a slow-paced book, it was so fast, the romance. And I tend to enjoy slow burns way more than this. And it's just like, the contrast was so big because I had a thing with the pacing. But the romance was like this. Like, they spoke 2 times and then suddenly they were in love, willing to die for each other. And it was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. It didn't really bother me because, like I said, I don't come here for romance. We were just kind of very much if this wasn't in the book, I would still be fine. But it was just like a bit more light-hearted stuff. And yes, Isenia, she did help with the writing. She taught him to read and write.
I didn't know that. That was really cute.
I still can't get over Brandon Sanderson being like a 30-year-old man. Like, very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think like he always puts her in like the dedications and acknowledgements, and it's always just really sweet and really cute, and I like it a lot. So nobody's mentioned. Go on.
Yes, go ahead. No, go ahead, Skylar. I was gonna say that, like, now that Mica's like brought it up, like, the first time I read this book, I didn't realize that the book actually has a really slow pace. But also the first time that I was reading it, I was like so like into the story that I like didn't even, and also I was like doing a lot of things at the same time. So I didn't even notice that the pacing was really slow. I kind of noticed it a little bit more in this one, but I still found myself really enjoying the book.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to comment on that.
Yeah. Kind of had the same thing. Like, I think I did a Goodreads update because when I read it the first time, I read it all really fast, but I also read it on ebook, so it's less of like a physical knowledge of how much of the book you've gone through. And I honestly thought there was more of the book was Vivenna and Vasha together. I didn't realize we didn't have that until like into the book. I was like, for some reason in my mind, that was such a big part of the book. Yeah. And then I got to 70%. I was like, oh my god, we went this long without Vivenna and Vasha together? Like, I don't know, that was kind of weird for me.
Yeah. Especially for how quickly their relationship like develops.
Yeah.
Because and it's not in the way of like how quickly the romantic relationship between Susebron and Ciri develops. It's just more like they get to know each other so well, and like they develop this kind of banter so easily that you kind of don't notice that they spend very little time together as is.
Yeah. Talking of, we haven't really spoken about Vasha. Anybody have any thoughts on Vasha? My favorite man in all the world.
He was great.
I love him.
Honestly, for me, he was great. I love a grumpy old man that's just like, and like, no, he's like several hundred years old.
Okay.
But
kind of the whole point. I know. When you joking,
and is like 7,000 years old or some shit. But
he's like a few centuries old. No, oh wait, no, it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's old and he's grumpy.
Yes, exactly. But I actually really like that he's an old grump. On second reading, it was easier to see like the hints that Brandon Sanderson was like laying down about his character. first time around, I didn't really notice them all that much, and then like on the reread, I was like, oh, this all makes a lot of sense now.
Me too. I was like noting little bits that I was like, oh my god, wait, how did I like brush past this?
Yeah.
So quickly.
Tiny brain, head empty, no thoughts.
Yeah.
Mica?
Yes, Mica.
Oh, she's stuck on this.
Am I back?
Oh no.
Yes, back.
Okay. I was gonna say that's exactly why I docked my rating. It was originally a 4, and then the ending hit, and I guessed everything that happened. So I just had to dock it. I couldn't do it.
Fair enough. I didn't pick up on it the first time, but
I didn't either.
No, I missed everything.
Again, head empty, no thoughts.
But I tend to like not miss details. I'm really good with details when I read ebooks or physical form, not when I listen to audiobooks. So I tend to remember that, and then when things are starting to happen, I go like, oh yeah, makes sense. Oh yeah, I saw this coming. Oh yeah, and then it just
yeah. Oh no, I could be reading physical books and I still wouldn't remember. It's fine. I'm a mess. We all know this.
This just made me laugh. Just imagine every single person in the entire history of the planet. They're all
okay, is not this the name of the planet where Warbreaker takes place? Okay, cool. I'm like slowly collecting names and I'm like, where is everything said?
You get in there, Tati, you learn, and I'm so proud.
I've been scared of like looking at the actual Cosmere maps, like the universe maps, because I'm like, I don't want anything spoiled, but at the same time, where is everything said? I need to know.
What did you say, Sami? I missed it.
It's an entirely different planet?
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay,
so
what I gathered into a whole description, but the Cosmere is a universe,
a crash,
different planets, different magic. They're all related.
Yeah. Honestly, I got this crash course at the beginning of the month from Katie's video when I was sitting down to read Mistborn. And I was like, oh, everything's a different, so that's why they call it the Cosmere universe. Everything is in a different planet. Gotcha. But how does everybody get around? Don't ask me because I don't know.
So every book has a different magic system?
Yes.
Every series does, yeah.
Yeah. So like Mistborn is with metals.
Yeah. And that's set on Scadrial.
Yeah. And then, so like, I don't know what the other ones are, and I will find out eventually, I guess.
Elantris is on Cell, I believe. Roshar is Stormlight. There's a bunch of others that I don't know yet, but regardless, they're all related in some way. We have some crossovers happening. All very exciting.
Honestly, I'm excited to just be able to understand eventually what Skylar and Katie are talking about half the time on Twitter, because I see their interactions like, who are these people? I don't know.
My green tabs in this book are links to Cosmere things, because I was spotting things and I was like, this needs to be my green tab, because I was just like, I know you, I know what this is. I just felt like coming back to it now that I've like read more of the books, I think I enjoyed it more even the second time around, just because you can pick things out and like you can see things relating, you know? But even within the book itself, like being able to pick up on the foreshadowing and clues and hints, like the statues, they kept referring to the statues, and I was like, oh, that's cool, they have statues. Walk right past that. And then later on, even Vasha, when he's talking about how Nightblood was made and how you shouldn't awaken steel and things, and he said they used to cheat by putting bones in steel or stone. And I was like, brush right past that.
Yeah, the first time I missed it. Past it, and I was like, what?
I know. I was like, damn, I'm dumb.
Now, having read Mistborn, anytime anybody mentions metal, I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Fun time.
What other characters can we talk? Lightsong. We'll talk about Lightsong for a little bit.
Yes. Mica, you just made a face. I want to know what you think.
Oh, God. Okay. Go.
Okay.
Yes, you.
I think my my whole issue with the pacing wasn't actually an issue with the pacing, but how repetitive Lightsong was on the first 40% of the book. Like, he kept having the same thoughts, spiraling about the same thing, by using the same words and making the same jokes, and everything was just the same character over last chapter over and over again. And I was like, oh god, I'm bored about this. But then
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying.
More, I guess then when he started doing things and got himself a personality and a hobby.
I think that was like kind of the point, really, was just like the fact of he's doing the same thing every single day. He's taking nothing seriously. That's kind of the point. I get why you don't like it.
And I think that would work for me if it was like 2-3 chapters, but not 10, not 40% of the book. That's half of the book. That's like a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I have
especially when he has a big POV.
Yeah. And I had the same thing with the mercenaries. They had like the same interaction all the time. So it ended up being so repetitive. And also that was not a thing that surprised me, that plot twist. And I don't know, it was just not it at the beginning. And then things started happening and it was it for a long while. And then the ending hit.
Oh. That was it. Again. Didn't hit. And that was it.
And that was it.
That was the end.
Anyway, what about you? Any strong feelings about any characters?
So I'm kind of the opposite of Mica in the fact that I was like, I was like super enthralled in the beginning. I know none of you have, I don't think any of you have read, what's it called? The Wrath and the Dawn, which is like so far away from this. But The Wrath of the Dawn is 1001 Nights retelling, and the story is like the king takes a queen every single night, and the next morning she's dead or whatever.
Okay.
And so like
interesting premise.
Yeah. It's a good series, but the first scene with like Siri and Seb, and that sort of like beginning was like what really drew me in, obviously because I'm a simple bitch. But trying to figure out what was up, like why is he like just watching her all night? I was like very intrigued by, and then kind of like that dove me into it, and then obviously I got like more invested in everything else. But then like once we started to figure out things towards the end, I was kind of like not that I didn't like it because I wanted to know what was going on, but I didn't have as much like intrigue, but the characters kept me around. So I think the plot in the beginning with like all the mystery was like really got me, and then I stayed around for the characters at the end, even though I started to predict a lot of the things. Like in my Goodreads review, I was like, one of the statues gonna come to life because I'm just waiting. I'm just like waiting for them. So I mean that's kind of like my overall thoughts. I will agree that in the beginning I was like really liked Lightsong, and then towards the end he started to really like make me want to. I don't know who listened to the audiobook, but the voice they used for him, and then just like how repetitive he is, it got like a little bit like. And then once Ford ever like berated him at the end, I was like, "Thank you, Scoot." Like,
Scoot really just put him in his place.
Honestly, he popped off.
The one thing that I'm curious about is, were we supposed to feel any sort of attachment towards homegirl that died in the basement? I didn't care about her.
In what? Sorry, I missed it.
Were we supposed to feel any attachment for Blush Weaver?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you were necessarily supposed to feel attachment to her, but you were supposed to kind of get the attachment Lightsong has to her. I think more than anything, it was more of a shocking moment than it was an "oh my god, I'm so upset" moment. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Blush Weaver for me was like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Mica.
Okay, it didn't even shock me her death. Was okay, sure, whatever, move on. I think it was a smart thing to do because he says in the annotations, which I read all of them and it was my favorite part of the book, was reading the annotations actually. He says that most of the times villains do stupid things for the sake of the plot, and killing Blush Weaver was it was smart, and I liked that. Now, if it wasn't,
I didn't mean shocking as in unexpected, more just like shock value.
But also, if it weren't for the annotations, I wouldn't realize Lightsong was so connected to her either. Like in the book,
Oh, really?
it didn't translate as well.
Oh,
I didn't think
interesting.
it did that well either. Not the fact that I thought it was like, okay, well, my dumbass thought that Lightsong and Vivi, her name isn't Vivi, Viv.
When you put this on Goodreads, I was like, she could not be further off base if she tried.
Okay, I know. I'm assuming he did it as like a misdirect with the whole saying that Siri could get pregnant by another man and then it would cause like a big thing. I know that's the other sister, but like that just got my head spinning with like who's Siri gonna like hook up with in the court. But then then they told us that they can't have kids anyway, and then I was just like, I don't know. It's like I'm just trying to come up with something wild. Also, I was kind of hoping for more just like romantic or like I guess drama in that sort of area. So I was just trying to dig for more of that. I didn't get it. So I think that was a little thing that kind of like let me down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a fault of the book. That's a fault of my expectations of a book.
Sammy's always looking for the romance. Sammy's always looking for the romance.
Looking for the romance. Yeah, so we talked a little bit earlier about Vivenna and how she changed throughout the book. Any thoughts on that? And the kind of juxtaposition between her and Siri, because they basically just crossed over entirely.
Yeah, like, a lot of the book is them like constantly switching places, basically. Yeah. And I found that really, really interesting because like it goes from like the sister who's very unimportant and she's very happy to be unimportant, but then she ends up, even Vivenna says it at the end, towards the end of the book, that she's like, her sister's no longer content with being unimportant. And I thought that was a very interesting progression and then Vivenna she's just like, I want to be unimportant to my family and my kingdom. So I actually really like that. And I started off hating Vivenna, just like everybody else.
I think most people do. She's not very likable.
She's not a likable character at all. But one of the things that I really liked about the book was that she had to face her own prejudices and like her own misconceptions, and like the fact that all of her information is like second, third, fourth hand information, and her having to like own up to that really is centered to the book. The one thing I might have wanted maybe a little bit more of was when she was a beggar. I thought it was a 180 change that went on there, but it was a tiny bit too fast. Other than that, especially for the slow pacing of the book, that turnaround was a tiny bit too quick, but still, I know, I understand that we have like a lot of characters that we need to get through. And like a lot of plot threads that need to be like tied together at the end. So I kind of understand why it was only like 2 weeks and we only get like a chapter and a half of her actually being a beggar. But I think that could have used a little bit more time or more attention paid to it so that the reader can really get the change that is going on there.
Yeah, I think
because all of her like interactions, motivations, and actions after that are rooted in that.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I understand. I think I agree. It was very like difficult to kind of understand how she could have had such a character growth from it. I read, like Mica, I also read the annotations, and he says about that, he's like, I think he said he didn't want to drag that out, and that's kind of why he did the whole thing of making her a drab and making her really ill, because it feels like more time has passed to her. But I don't think without the annotation you would really get that, because I get that. It felt very fast.
Why?
Sami?
Oh, I was asking, why at the end did she make it sound like she chose to be a beggar? That was the thing that confused me.
Yeah.
Because
she made it seem like she chose to like try it out.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was weird. Like, I chose to be like this to learn. I was like, girl, you like lost all your shit. Like,
The one thing I did really appreciate about those scenes, and I think you two sent me that from the annotations, is that he didn't want to use rape as a story tool to move that along, which I really appreciated, because on my first reading, I was really scared that's what was going to happen to her. And I'm really glad that that's not a part of her, like that's not a story tool that he used to move her character forward, because it really would have, like, it would have changed everything completely. And I'm very glad that that's not where the book went.
Yeah, I think this is a discussion that kind of comes up a lot on Twitter and always makes me very angry, is that you'll get a lot of people who are like, fantasy readers, and they generally men, and they're like, no, this is realistic, we need this. And it's like, it's a fantasy book.
Yeah.
It is up to the author to decide what's realistic. You don't need this. It's not.
And like,
an
there's no
important
need
part.
to oppress women in your fantasy novel. Like, there's really no need for it. It's so stupid when people do it, and it's just, I'm really glad that that wasn't a thing that was used to move her character forward.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have 2 comments about that though. One of the things, the comment I have is about her time spending as a vicar. I didn't like, but I think it's something I didn't like about actually the magic system. I didn't like that he confirmed that being a drug was losing part of your soul. I didn't like that, because I felt like it wasn't needed for Venna to reach that character growth, because if you strip someone of everything they have, they don't have food, they don't have shelter, they don't have anything, and they come from royalty also, where they used to have everything. I think that's enough to cause such desperation that she had. It wasn't needed for her to lose a part of her soul. I think that's like excessive, and I didn't like that. Now, about the thing you said about the rape, I agree with that 100%. I wouldn't have liked that. But in that note, there were a couple of things that I didn't like that he said about women in the story, but I guess it was to be expected because he's a man, obviously. So I didn't like how goddesses were portrayed, and how he speaks about them, how Lightsong speaks about Blush Weavers revealing clothes, saying she doesn't have respect for herself, or how he in the annotation says that it was to be expected that the goddesses were so shallow, because when you give women their perfect bodies, what is left, or something like that. It's not exactly that. It's along those lines, and I just didn't like that. I'm not sure if you even listening to me.
We heard you, I think.
Look, it always pauses on like the worst screen. Like, it's all like, look at this.
Yeah.
She's having like a model moment right now.
Honestly, she's just doing it on purpose at this point.
But I do agree, like on the same lines. I don't think necessarily it was like implicit, like whatever. But he did tend to make, and I know like obviously they're like princesses, like Ciri and Viv, because they were kind of naive in that fact. But he did kind of make them miss some really big things that only the men knew about. Which, I mean, obviously is kind of a speech on like manipulation tactics by men. But I didn't like how like Ciri figured it all out at the very end about Bluefinger or whatever, and Seb kind of like always knew. And I was like, damn, couldn't we just give it to this girl who can know better than the king? But I mean, it was fine. And then obviously like with Viv and I don't know, the mercenaries. And then how Vasher was always the good guy. Like, whatever, I guess. But that's like beside the point. I just would have liked for one of, like, because even the dead girl that got her throat slit, the goddess, even
Blush Weaver.
Even she got screwed over, and I was like, give one win to these people. But
yeah,
that's fair.
Okay, so now shall we talk about magic? Oh,
what, Mica?
My run got cut off. I know. But I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
I think we got all of it.
We definitely got most of it, I think.
Yeah. A great majority of it, for sure.
The
Yeah.
magic system.
Went over your head, Sami.
I love the thing at the end. It's just like the amounts of breaths and things that kind of were like
Yeah.
very religious. Which, I mean, not like actually religious, but like, I don't know, in general, like religious, I guess. Not obviously our religious kind.
Yeah.
That was kind of confusing to me. Still kind of is. I don't understand who Vasher is at all. I don't understand how they're a child. I don't know. There's like
Okay, the first child, like the first return, nobody really knows how they had a child. Like
he wasn't
not
returned?
No.
Okay.
He was just the one that, like, okay, so at the end of the Many War, so the Many War is what eventually split the kingdoms, like Idris from Hallandren. And so at the end of the Many War, Peacekeeper is the one that came and like brought the army that like ended everything. But Vasher is both Peacekeeper and Khalad. Khalad started the war, Peacekeeper ended it, and Vasher is the same, is all of those dudes.
But the he's not the first returns.
No.
Wait, so he okay. I'll tell you what confused me about this real quick.
Yeah.
It has to do with the magic system because I know that Ciri and Viv and all of their family are like related to the first return, right?
the first return is called
They're
Zoe.
descended.
Okay, so she's not related to Vasher though.
No. Okay,
Yeah. But potentially Denth, because when Denth dies, his hair changes and he has the royal locks, which suggests that he is also a descendant of the royal family. You missed that?
Yeah, no, when I missed it on my first reading as well. I caught it now when I was rereading. When Denth is killed by Vasher, his hair changes from black to red to white. So it is possible that that Viven and Ciri are descendants from Denth.
Mm-hmm.
And Denth's sister was that other chick, actual sister.
Yes. So you had the Many War and you had the 5 scholars. They were Vasher, Denth, Shashara. Shashara was Denth's sister. And you also had Arsteel and Yesteel, who were also brothers.
At least 2 of them we know are dead. 3 now.
Denth and Shashara are dead. Arsteel is also dead. And then
Arsteel is Claude, by the way.
Is what?
Claude the Lifeless.
It's Claude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it's so unhinged. That is so unhinged.
That makes so much sense.
I didn't know that. And then Yesteel is the one that Vasher leaves to go find at the end of the book. That Viven goes with him.
And Yesteel also knows Shashara's secret on how to awaken steel. Yeah. Which is dangerous, as we know.
Yesteel is who?
One of the 5 scholars.
But you said something about the end of the book.
1 of 5 scholars, yeah.
Oh, at the end of the book, when Vasher leaves with Vivenna,
No.
they're like leaving to go find Yesteel that has just resurfaced.
Okay.
And he's working on like more powerful lifeless, essentially. So he knows how to make more powerful lifeless and how to awaken the steel.
God,
dangerous combination. Terrible idea.
Very dangerous dude. Gotta kill him dead.
Yes. He's gotta go now.
No.
Yes.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, this clears up some things because I was like, I totally forgot about Claude. So that, why do they call it
Claude? I didn't know that Claude was Arsteel. Where does it say that? Because I didn't realize that.
I couldn't pick it out. I don't know if it explicitly says. The reason I remembered was mainly I don't have my phone, but in my notes app when I first read it, I have a note which says like theory while I was reading Warbreaker, Claude equals R-Steel.
Okay.
And I was like, wait. And then it says in the annotations, but I can't remember if it says in the book. But I'd imagine it's heavily implied at least because I managed to guess it.
So Denth could be Vivi's great granddaddy.
Basically.
But then Vasher should know that, right? How would he not know that? And then he asks her if they were sleeping together with her dad.
He might know, but like also it doesn't
she
necessarily.
Well, here's the thing: if Shashara and Denth were siblings, she might.
They were other siblings as well, probably, or like other people in the family. It doesn't have to be Denth's direct descendant.
Oh, true. That's true.
So, but they're related in some way. It seems.
The first for return.
What are we talking about? Who is related with who?
We're talking about Denth and his royal locks.
Okay, but he would have to be related because they tell you that the only ones that have the locks are the potential heirs to a throne.
Yeah.
So he would have, or one of his brothers. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So they are related in the same line, at least somewhere.
That's pretty
which is interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Tati, what's going on here? You got another thing. I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll pop up somewhere at some point. What else? Magic wise was there? I don't know. I think for me, is she back?
I see one of her.
I see one of her. Tati, she's back.
Yeah.
I'll remove the other one. She's back. There she is.
Just kick the other one out. Now I'm the one that hates my Wi-Fi.
Technical difficulties every single month. There's always somebody who has bad connection. Last month it was me. So,
magic.
Right. Magic. I think for me this is one of my favorite magic systems because I think I like the way he takes something kind of mundane like color and I don't know, it just feels magical, but like it has explanations behind it. Like it's not just this is magic because it's magic. There's like actual
I like the cast system it kind of creates. I think that's what makes it interesting to me. Like there's two Tatis.
Yeah.
I liked how kind of like that abstract theory of just like people having more color makes them more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like some like more traditional magic systems where it's just like you're a good fighter, you have more magic, like arbitrary magic that allows you to do whatever. But this is like a set system, which I liked.
Yeah,
I agree. One of the things that I texted Skylar at one point was like, because I just read Mistborn at the beginning of the month, and I was like, is this, because one of the questions I had was, is this like anyone can be an awakener, or is it like just some people can be an awakener? And she's like, no, it's like if you have enough breath, you can be an awakener. It's not like being Mistborn that you have to like kind of be born into it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I like it. It's just I don't think I've ever really read a magic system where everyone's kind of on principle on the same plane field.
Yeah.
Like, if you have like enough breath, you can just like be an awakener. It's not a birthright or some shit like that.
Yeah. Like obviously aside from like the idea of the returned, like there's not really like a chosen one thing which is kind of played out, you know? Mm-hmm. So I like that idea that just anyone can do it if you want to or if you can. Yeah. I don't know. I like the kind of mechanics, like the bit where Vasher like goes on his like exposition thing of just like stats. I was like, oh my god, I love this so much. It's like that is I love stuff like that because I'm like, oh my god, I can like understand this and categorize things and just I don't know, me and my scientific mind, I suppose.
Honestly, no. Honestly, Brandon Sanderson creates magic system for nerds.
Yeah.
Because I loved it. I love the whole intricacies of it. It just like awakened my senses and I was like, oh my god, yes. And like the same thing happened when I read Mistborn. It was like, oh, this is a magic system for nerds. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's something that you can almost study because it has rules, it has set things. There's no like arbitrary scale of magic. Like there are set things that you can do.
And there's only like so like there's limits.
Yeah.
You're not like completely all powerful. Like there are limits to what you can do and like what you can achieve, which I appreciate.
Yes. Me too.
Okay. Are you ready for my thing?
Yes.
Okay. Definitely the magic system and the world building was the thing that I loved the most about the book. It was the thing that made me want to up my rating. It was definitely made for nerds, which I love that because I'm definitely a nerd, and I also really love the sciencey explanation because that is also very
yes.
But as I said, there are a couple things that I didn't like. The breath being part of your soul, so if you lose.
Oh
no, not again.
Am I back?
Yes,
I can hear you.
I can see you.
We can hear you.
Nope. Gone. Oh no! Every time she goes to make a point.
Oh, I might just decide that no.
Literally. Oh, and now she's
girl.
gone.
Now she's gone completely. Oh, there you are.
Yes, fuck this. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Again. Oh, she's back. Okay.
So, I didn't like the soulless thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like how much the God King could do. Like, he didn't know how to awaken, and suddenly he could do any type of basic awakening because he had so much breath. But I found that so, like, a cop out to the ending, basically. And also, you had the thing where as he had so much breath, he could do that without talking, and I thought that was what was going to happen in the ending at first because it said in the prologue, I think. But then you realize that he needs to be taught that, and that's how he passes the breath. But but he doesn't need to be taught the other stuff, and that was kind of icky for me. I didn't like that as much. But I know he says in the annotations that he didn't like it either that much. So I feel vindicated at least. I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that was like it adds to the system for me of just like because like nobody has that amount of breath. Like
I mean, he says
amount.
Yeah, it says like at the end of the book
50,000 breaths or something insane. Like it's a lot, but I think mostly in terms of this book, I think it was just a case of it's a standalone book, you know, like it needed to wrap up other than being like over 1,000 pages, other than being a Stormlight book.
Yeah.
It wasn't
and
really
also like
done.
He kind of gives himself an out of like at the end of the book when it like lists all the powers and like at the end it says there's a question mark, and also it says like there are rumors that other powers granted by the 10th heightening that are not understood or have not been made known by those who have achieved it. So like he gives himself an out there.
Also, can I point out the little bit at the end of every Cosmere book? They are written by a Cosmere character.
Oh, so like so this is like written from like the
Same with Mistborn. Same with Stormlight. Somebody is writing those.
Yeah, I know who's writing them in Mistborn, but I didn't know.
No, you don't. It's the same person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will find out eventually, I hope. Okay.
Wait, how do you know that? Did it say something at the end?
No, it's the same for all of the Cosmere books. The Ars Arcanum at the end is they're written by a character in the Cosmere who is kind of studying the Cosmere, you know?
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that a little bit in there.
Continuing to blow our minds. Excellent. Thank you.
How would you figure that out unless they explicitly told you? I'm just trying to figure out, obviously I don't want to know, but I'm just curious.
I think it must say it in some of the other books, probably.
I'm not going to say who the character is or where they're from.
No, please
or
don't.
if I've even met them yet, because that would be spoilers.
Please don't say it.
But even, there's a lot of stuff kind of in the Cosmere that people know because Brandon says, and he answers a lot of questions and things, but everything is kind of collated, and he doesn't answer every question, but there are some questions that can kind of lead you to know things that are not yet on page or are more part of the greater Cosmere lore.
Okay. Basically, what you're telling me is that I need to get on Reddit.
Yeah, get on Reddit. Also, Coppermind is a great one.
I've perused Coppermind very slightly because I don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
So I've gone into it very lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I've dipped my toes. I haven't fully explored the website.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I liked about the Cosmere in general is you don't have to deep dive as much as a lot of people do. You can read the books and you'll understand everything you need to understand. You can kind of just go into it as much as you want and you can still understand.
If you're nerds like us, then you want to know everything.
Me spending every day of my life on Coppermind being oh my god, I can't believe this is linked, I can't believe this is linked, because it's fun. But I don't know, I think that's what I like about it, is I can nerd out on this.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question for you, actually.
Oh no.
It's not really related to the book. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
I actually want to know, who did you think would like the book the most?
Oh.
Well, I already knew Tati would like it.
Okay, so take me out of the equation then.
I would have expected Sami to like it more. Just because, like I said at the beginning, this is more of a lighter book in the Cosmere. I feel it's more Sami's speed, whereas I would pick another book probably for you, Mica.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
When the other ones were darker, I was I thought it was calm.
Sami enjoys a lighter tone.
She does. And I knew she would. I was this Ciri Susebron plotline. I was if Sami doesn't like this, I'm going to be so confused and upset.
Honestly, look, Sami is here for the soulmates, for the romance, and for the colors. Sami is here for the light tones.
Sami, we just know you so well.
Sami, you are the only person I could conceive to think of Jason Clary as soulmates. So obviously,
bye.
She's just been called out.
I'm sorry, but it's true. Dude, don't get me wrong. I am enjoying the Cassandra Clare thing that we're doing, but only you could think of those two as soulmates and think it's a good idea.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I find it funny how we went from Shadowhunters to a book where the country was also called Idris.
Yeah.
It kind of just wasn't planned, just kind of happened.
And also, I think we can all agree if people in a book are from Idris, they automatically generally suck.
Yeah.
Deedlin, for example. Oh my god, we didn't talk about the king.
Oh, is that
Dedelin, the king.
Oh my god. What an awful human being.
What a terrible person.
What an awful
I have never been so glad to not have a character on page past chapter 2. I was I don't want this man anymore. I'm done with this. He sucks.
Yeah. That was insane. The letter.
He genuinely thought he was sending his daughter to death, and that is why he sent Ciri. I exploded.
Oh, the worst. Just the worst.
It kind of sucked how Viv, how she thought that her sister wouldn't be able to like handle it, and then she admitted that she never even came to help her sister anyway. She was just like,
yes.
And I was like,
yeah.
And like, here's the thing: the more the book goes on, the more you would see Vivenna could have not handled being married to Susebron.
well, she
Like,
couldn't handle any of it.
She would have gotten herself killed on the first day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we have somebody who has never read anything by Brandon Sanderson. I suggest you do.
I suggest you do as well.
As the chief with my Stormlight collection.
Oh, up there. Whoa.
There they are. My babies.
Let me
And
tell you something.
my misborn children. Right here.
Skylar has some really pretty books. What the fuck? Skylar's bookshelf is so pretty.
Oh my god. That's why it's my channel name. What can I say? Skylar's bookshelf, everybody.
It's so pretty. Anytime I
God.
get a glimpse of it, I'm just like, it's so pretty.
Oh my god, thank you.
Thanks.
But yes, I would recommend you read a Sanderson book.
So would I.
This one's
100%.
short, so I'd recommend this. Is this one?
Definitely recommend this one.
I missed everything you just said. Sorry.
Oh, is this one the shortest out of his books? Like,
No, actually, this one's longer. This one's longer than the Mistborn books. Yes, it is. I can attest to that fact.
It's like 880 pages.
What?
The Well of Ascension is like super long.
No, it's not. It's like 500-ish pages.
No, it's not.
Maybe that version you have, but like according to the audiobook, this
No, even the ebook I read said it was like 800 pages. It's
let me see
long-ass book.
book details. So
This one is 850 pages, and it's like teeny tiny writing too. You can't.
Well of Ascension, book details. Let's see something. How long is the audiobook for this? 28 hours.
Maybe go by word count.
Yeah, and this one is 24.
And this one's 24. Okay, yeah. So this one's like, I mean, the Mistborn books are just like kind of like along the same range as this.
Yeah, I think Elantris is probably around the same length as well. Only reading Stormlight books are the massive.
Yeah, it's the Stormlight archive that is just massive. To the point that the paperbacks are divided into 2 volumes.
Wait, is Stormlight and that's different.
Yeah.
Big boy.
That is the size of Skylar's head.
Oh, it's big.
It's
insane.
And those are Bible pages.
These are Bible pages. They like stick together like nobody's business. I'm reading them like, yeah. Big boys.
Me personally, I'm gonna go with the paperbacks that are divided into 2 volumes because I cannot handle Bible pages. I hate Bible pages.
Yeah. I mean, I read them all as ebooks except for Rhythm of War, which I read physically and killed my back in the process. The back pain.
Yeah.
Also my wrist. I have like, look at my wrist. My wrist's like...
You're tiny, fragile.
You think I can hold a book this lasts weight for long periods of time?
Nope.
No, I can't. So then I end up leaning over and just breaking my back. But there we go. But
I mean, we're all little hunchbacks at this point because we spend our time with noses in books. So
there is that. Okay. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about with regards to this book specifically?
I've said all my points.
Oh. Well, my final question for everybody is, will anybody else venture further into the Cosmere in the future, other than Tati, because she already has?
And has plans to continue.
Yes. I mean, yes, but they're long, so someone's gonna have to I'm gonna have to take them a step at a time because this is long for me. It's like it's the length of a normal.
Yeah.
Sami's like, I need something that's 350 pages, YA, fluffy, happy ending.
Sami, yes. To give you an idea of the ordeal that I put myself through this month, the shortest book that I've read this month was Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is still over 400 pages.
I think that's probably the same for me.
And I read all of Mistborn Era 1 this month, and I haven't been able to like physically pick up a book anymore because I am tired. Literally everything I've done this month has been audiobooks because I can't bring myself to physically read at this point. Like once I finish A Court of Silver Flames, I think I'm gonna take a break until March because I can't. I'm done.
You deserve it. You deserve a break.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I just said I don't read long books, but the books I've read this month are this. I'm gonna read A Court of Silver Flames,
which is excellent.
Yeah, I'm finishing Midnight Sun right now. These are all way
books.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really challenged yourself this month. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves through the ringer this month.
So scary.
Yeah, you're making moves. I'm so proud of you.
Well, as for me, you already know the answer to that. Please, Skylar.
I don't.
You already know that I do plan it, and then mayhaps Mistborn is gonna fall into my door soon. So
you don't know that. You might not.
It might not.
Just
but yeah,
saying.
I am excited to get more into it because I'm definitely the kind of person that likes things that are interconnected and extensive and likes to know everything about something. So yeah, this is definitely my kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I feel like
I don't particularly read long books, but I'm not opposed to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they don't like they're not daunting. I guess it's not something that I usually do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Tati, I feel like Mica is gonna love hemalurgy.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. She's gonna go. Wait, Sami, what? What did you say, Sami?
These names are something else. I have to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It makes me sound pretty.
Yeah, Mica is gonna go nuts for hemalurgy.
100%.
100%. 100%.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, I don't know how she's gonna feel about ferrochemy and allomancy in general, but hemalurgy, she's gonna go nuts for.
Oh, 100%. That's right up her street. So you got to look forward to me, yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Honestly, picking up like the physical copy of Warbreaker after having read the audiobook was like seeing how everything was spelled. I was just like, wow, a trip. Because mind you, remember, I listened to all of Mistborn I read Mistborn on audio. So I don't know how shit is spelled to the point that like when I was texting Skylar the other day, I had to look it up because don't know how anything is spelled.
I'm sure I can work out what you're saying.
What's your ranking of the series?
Yeah.
Oh, Skylar, that's a big one for you.
I hate it when people ask me this question.
See, I can do like ranking within a series, but ranking series against each other, that's a big undertaking.
I was asked a couple of months ago to rank all the books, and I was like, the series combined. I was like, absolutely not. I can't do that. I think Stormlight is always going to be the top one, just because it's so
serious.
It's so big, and like there's so much going on, and like I can't wait to reread it. I'm gonna finish reading all the Cosmic books, and then I'm gonna reread Stormlight because that's kind of the main one that connects a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just I'm so excited.
4 books, and they're all 1,000 pages. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Also, he keeps expanding. Well, this is a standalone right now, but there's already on Goodreads like a book 2.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever write it. He hasn't updated that in like 10 years. But
if he ever does, I will read it.
But like he's also done this thing before where like you have Mistborn Era 1, and then he wanted to write another book in the world. But then, so he wanted to do Era 2, but then he realized that he wanted something in between, so he ended up writing another book in between, but that turned into another trilogy.
Yeah.
Which then he made into 4 books. He just keeps like accidentally adding books. But like he turns out books really bloody fast as well. So like
honestly, here's the thing. He is like Cassandra Clare. He has a bunch of theories. They're all interconnected. It's just that Skylar likes this one better.
He does it so much better. Like no spoilers, but there are characters that you see from other places, and like they don't have the same name. They're not on the right planet. Like you have to be paying attention to like understand that. There's more.
There's 16, 17, 16, something like that.
I don't know because some. You going by the shards, right? You're going by the shards. But some of the planets have 2 shards, so like.
There you go. Who knows? Sami, this is all very confusing to me as well.
Sorry, Sami, it's fine. Either way, yes, there are other planets. Characters pop up, and they're all set at very different times, and it's like you have to be paying attention to know who you're seeing because.
Honestly, Sami, unless someone is dead and you've seen the body, assume they're alive and immortal.
Great.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it.
Don't even. Just.
Not entirely correct, but we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm excited you all enjoyed it. This is like the most, like, this is the highest average I think we've ever had rating-wise.
I think so.
Which
and the most close to each other that we've ever been in ratings as well.
Yeah, that makes me so happy. I'm so glad nobody came on and said 1 star. Nobody did a me the last like, you know? Like we all had a good time.
At least she called herself out.
Look, I know how I've been and I'll own up to it. But I'm just glad we didn't have that this month. So shall we? So, Tati, do you want to say what book you've picked first, or do you want to go through what we're currently reading first?
No, I'll say what we're going to read next month. So, we're... Oh, your cat.
Sorry. That was like a visceral reaction.
You were all like, what? Okay, so for my pick, there was a theme of the books that I was thinking of choosing amongst. And I eventually landed on something that I have already read, but I kind of want to reread. And I also kind of wanted y'all to read because I think y'all might like it. So what I picked for next month's slideshow is The Library of Lost Things by Laura Taylor Namey.
Okay.
So
Sami is gonna love this. I only know the synopsis, and I was like, this is Sami's book.
Sami is gonna love this. This is a book about books, and I rated it originally a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm excited to see if that holds, if it goes higher. I don't think it'll go lower, but I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I'm excited to see all your opinions on it. This is cute. It is short, and I think y'all are gonna enjoy the love interest.
Ooh.
And also the plot. I think y'all are gonna like this book. I'm really hoping.
Yay!
So yeah. This is what we're reading next month. I'm excited to share it with y'all, and I'm excited to see what y'all think.
Yay! I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay. Currently reading, everybody.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, well, I'm about to start Gideon the Ninth.
Ooh, let me know how that is because
I will. I don't know if Katie is still here, but if Katie's still here, this is for you.
She's probably dying.
Gideon the Ninth.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I don't really know what to expect. I see fan art all the time. I see people talking about it all the time. I don't know. Alex, I think, gave her a 4-star. So Sami is just turning into Lara Croft, just the obstacle course of her room.
Are we gonna get an unboxing in the middle of the live show? Because like I'd be excited for it.
I could unbox it.
Oh my god, you totally should. Live unboxing, everybody.
Please do.
Okay, somebody else go though right now.
Okay,
go. What are you reading?
Mica?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I reading? I officially need to finish my reread of Percy Jackson and the Lincoln, so I have the last Lincoln left. because I was going to read before this book, but things happened. And then I guess I might go into Heroes of Olympus, or maybe how that goes.
Okay.
But those are the plans.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, we did it.
Okay,
Yes.
Sami, show us what you got there.
So, well, first, I'm finishing this audiobook. I have a lot left, but I'm actually kind of liking it a lot, so no shit. But I have this, and I haven't opened it yet. I got it Tuesday. And I don't know. It's just been sitting on the ground. So
Honestly, Sami, we know you've been having a hard life recently with work. So, like, I understand why you haven't opened it.
Yeah. And I'm very confused with why I did. I literally was just like, I just can't do it. I'm gonna open it now. It's very exciting. And I have
this will be serotonin for all of us.
Yes, 100%. I just love an unboxing.
Honestly, same. I'm having the best time.
Living by.
How big is this?
Oh my god, that is massive!
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I haven't seen a physical copy yet.
Oh my god,
My tour edition hasn't come yet, and I'm really upset. But yeah.
That is massive.
Okay, but it's really pretty.
It is. It's very pretty.
Are these pages? How long is this?
It is like 700-ish pages.
750-ish.
Yeah.
It's 750.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
It's very pretty.
I actually surprisingly don't hate this cover, even though it's going to look hideous to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine all match, so I'm okay.
But
this is why I hate a mid-series like cover change.
Mm-hmm.
it's like a pretty picture of her though. I really
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Yeah. Wow. This is what I'm reading after
Midnight Sun.
earlier with like this is
Wow. And we thought Midnight Sun was massive.
very unlike me. I mean, it is massive.
It is. It is.
660.
I mean, here's the thing. I have the Twilight like box set from years and years ago, and when I got Midnight Sun, I was very pissed that Midnight Sun is like huge. It like does not go together with the box set, and it pisses me off. Okay,
Yeah.
so is it my turn? I think it is. So I am reading A Court of Silver Flames currently. I am about halfway through. Yeah. I am about halfway through. I'm very much enjoying it. We have so many books. I'm very much enjoying it. And once I finish that, I am going to listen to the audiobook for Circe by Madeline Miller.
Ooh.
Yes, my hold from the library finally came in, so I am going to listen to it.
Ooh,
To finish off
how you
this
find that.
to finish off this month in which I have only listened to audiobooks.
It's quite a small book too.
Yeah.
It's really.
It's just that, like, after I read Song of Achilles, I listened to Song of Achilles as well because I really couldn't, like, get into the book reading it myself. So I figured that I'd just listen to the audiobook for her other book as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's going on with my reading life.
Perfect. Are we all
Excellent.
done for the
Yes, I believe so. We have announced our next book.
month? Yeah. We're all having a good time. Mica is.
Mica's dealing with her internet. Mica's so done with her internet.
Yeah, so we're all done. Hope
Lovely
everyone
seeing
enjoyed
you
this chaos that it is every single month without fail. And we will see you next month for the Library of Lost Things on Tati's channel. Woo! Yeah. So
Okay.
All right.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.